12:70 a.m. and live on Facebook for the Philam Courier Community Hours presentation of the Pilipinx Collective. If you are joining us online, please comment on the live videos, and we would love to give you a shout out. This week and next week, Sunday's shows are titled Pasasalamat Prelude. Programs before our official launch of the Philam Courier Community Hour presents the Pilipinx Collective on Sunday, December 2, 2018 on KNDI Radio, 12:70 a.m. from 7:30 to 9 o'clock a.m. And catch us every weekly, every Sunday after that. Today's show highlights how the show came about, who your DJs are, and to express our gratitude to the Philam Courier, KNDI Radio, 12:70 a.m. for seeking and supporting the importance of allowing the younger generation the power of their voices to be heard through the radio waves and the World Wide Web. So be sure to share these videos and the videos that will be curated and posted on Facebook and YouTube, and make sure to say hey and share it with all of your friends. This program ultimately proclaims that we are here and we have voices. We will be celebrating the successes and journeys of millennials, Generation Z, and those that come after, while we also explore the Pilipinx identity as we all grow through life together. Once again, we would like to welcome everyone. You're listening to the Pilipinx Collective on KNDI Radio, 12:70 a.m. and through our live streams. I'm Radiant.
I'm Linda.
I'm Kaya.
And I'm Lelaine. We want to answer some of the questions that you might be having, like, what is Pilipinx and what is the program going to be about? On our show, we pronounce it as Pilipinx, but do also acknowledge and are okay with the interchanging of the pronouncing of the term as Pilipinx. Although not initially how Filipino and a Filipino were to be intended, we replaced the P with F, and as it did not exist as the native script of the Philippines before Spanish influence and rule, but also acknowledge that people will interchange the P and then F. As a means to colonize the colonized way of thinking, most things will be spelled as they are according to this notion. The X is a gender neutral and encompasses all genders, non-conforming genders, and gender-fluid individuals. At the earlier points of the Philippine language, we have learned through salamat or legends that there were no specified genders in the pre-colonial language. It was during the Spanish's rule that introduced the idea of gendered terms.
Thanks, Elaine, for sharing the meaning behind the show's name. Before I go on further, I want to give a shout out to our Facebook viewers. We have 2 so far. Let's see who they are. David Cordero, thank you for viewing. Thank you for joining us, and please share the video with your friends. With this holiday season here, Thanksgiving is already on Thursday, and today we're beginning our very first radio show together. It is fitting that the theme of this month be gratitude. With the theme of gratitude, today's show will focus on getting to know your DJs, Radiant, Lelaine, and myself, Linda, as we share our gratitude to the Philam Courier, the Philam Courier's Community Hour, and KNDI's for this opportunity to be on radio and share weekly explorations of the everyday of our generation, the Pilipinx millennials.
What's next? Who's talking about? Song.
Our first song today is Dahil Sa'yo by Inigo Pascual. Born on September 14, 1997, he is part of the iGen, or the Generation Z. Also known as the son of Piolo Pascual, Dahil Sa'yo was released on 2016 and shot up to the #1 song on the Billboard Philippines then new Philippine Top 20. Here's Dahil Sa'yo by Inigo Pascual.
Amanda, can you bring that headphones by my phone so they can hear the song?
Okay. So we gotta be a little bit more quicker as far as getting the song ready, because you wanna segue into it or lead into it a little quicker, and then.
Should we guys switch seats?
Oh no, I don't know how to run that
Oh,
computer.
okay.
Do you want it where where it's like already playing type of a deal, or?
Yeah, yeah, because then
got
you
it,
would
okay.
bring the,
Sorry.
the volume up
What's next after
while
that?
you're speaking.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, so that way it's not so cut.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to radio, you want to make
Oops.
sure that it's
Here,
closed.
use this.
And then you don't want any too much.
Put it by the
space.
speakers. Sorry.
And then, do you have any background sound that you would like
I
to
don't know.
use? Okay.
I didn't think of that. Oh, I did think of it, but I just didn't know what. Except,
I'm not sure how long that is.
I love this song.
yeah, me too. I don't like watching him. Oh yeah. Let's check.
How's our speaking though?
So-
You okay?
Huh?
In terms of our speaking?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
your
hear.
speaking is, yeah, oh, that's right, you don't have to.
I cannot hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
hear any.
Put your
Your
headphones on.
speaking
Yeah.
is really good.
Okay.
For all of us.
Yeah, I mean, you could bring up your volume
be
a little
weird,
bit
like,
more,
hear myself.
but,
Yeah.
I mean,
How do
I
I
can hear
connect?
you perfectly clear.
Wait, it's not gonna happen.
So
It's
if you
not gonna
have
happen.
a headset, do you have a headset?
Make
Oh,
it. Make
shucks.
it.
Wait,
What?
we need,
It's being pulled, so like it's just gonna like come down, you know.
what's the next part after this?
Can you use what?
Radiant.
Can you switch out headsets with Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll need the microphone,
Sorry.
Do I need a headset?
Okay.
and then after that will be Linda about.
Do I need a headset? I don't like listening
Oh, you don't
to
want it?
myself.
You don't want it? Okay, that's okay then.
Why do you do this?
Yeah. Remind me that this is my,
Okay, sorry.
oh, sorry. Oh, you gotta come close.
Oh snap, that sucks.
No, it's not. I have my extension. Alright.
Okay, share. Oops, sorry. Share the videos, guys.
Unless we switch.
Huh?
We switch. This is the wrong one.
Yeah, switch that with Amanda.
Uh-oh,
Oh no, I gave it to
Oh, you
her.
did. Okay.
I don't
Here.
have
Maybe
my
a minute.
extension.
Here. No,
You
it's
have a
okay.
minute?
Linda, switch. We're switching. Sure.
You're good, okay.
Let me put this like over here.
We're gonna.
That's.
I didn't let Shar know the questions, but she can have her answer too.
Can we put it around the
What?
this mic thing?
What mic? Oh.
The
Oh, can you take out the?
sorry.
No, you're good.
Thank you.
Do you wanna maybe come on this side and then?
Like face
Yeah,
us?
yeah,
Face
no.
us and
Oh
then.
yeah.
And then.
Okay, if you can come on that side and then Radiant, you can use that mic
Okay.
and then, cause then you can hear it on the radio going squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Wait, is this another headphone?
How much longer do we have, guys?
That's it.
This show would not be possible without the amazing support and foundation that the Philam Courier, KNDI Radio 1270 AM, and the Philam Courier Community Hour has set for us. For more information about KNDI Radio and the Philam Courier, please visit www.kndi.com or calling 946-2845 or going to tunein.com. And for the Philam Courier, you can go to philamcourier.com and also find both the radio station and the newspaper at all of their social medias. We want to say a huge thank you to the people following us or following people for joining us on our live streams. And however, I do not actually have it up yet as I'm trying to connect to the internet. So we will give a shout out to you all later. So everyone, please invite all of your friends, share this video, and then we can give a further shout out later on in the show.
Next up, after the top of the hour segment, we will get right into introducing who we are to you all. We are your voices of the future and the Pilipinx Collective. On the Pilipinx Collective, we will be right back with more of our Pasta Salamat Prelude program.
All right, everyone. I just wanted to do a little ad lib about how the show came about before we go to talk about how we all got involved on the show. So we mentioned that this is the Philam Courier Community Hour presents the Pilipinx Collective, and with that, that means that 2 years ago on October 2nd or 3rd, both KNDI Radio and the Philam Courier, both multimedia moguls in Hawaii representing ethnic media joined in a collaboration to have a radio show called the Phil-Am Courier Community Hour that launched at the Philippine Consulate. After that, we have added one show, and its second show added, so there are now 3 shows under the Phil-Am Courier Community Hour. One show that was most recently added is hosted by Alan Alvarez, and you can hear him here on KNDI 1270 AM. And you will be able to hear us starting this Sunday weekly from 7:30 to 9 o'clock a.m. And with that, we hope we can continue to come out to the community, and when we have our official launch, which will be on December 2, 2018, we will be able to show everyone or invite people to join us as we highlight and profile young leaders, but also people who are growing up, as we mentioned, through life with all of us. And if I could have, sorry, I don't know what to ad-lib about. I also want to give a shout out. We have my cousin who grew up with the Phil-Am Courier, Amanda Busmente. Amanda, if you could come here. She's taking photos. She's helped us set up, and the camera is right there. And so this is Amanda. She's been working for the Phil-Am Courier since she was in her mom's belly. And I just wanted to give a huge shout out once again. And also with us, with the Phil-Am Courier Community Hours, most amazing radio technician, Kahea!
Hey guys, good morning. Bright and early.
Bright and early. And so as you can see on the Phil-Am Courier Community Hour, you often see myself, Radiant, and Kahea with host Amelia Casamina Kabatu. Shout out, hey, Auntie Ami.
Hi.
With her, and also with my mom and all of their guests. So we're very excited that Auntie Amelia asked us if we wanted to start a show to represent the younger generation. I myself have a column in the Phil-Am Courier that comes out every month. It is called Metropolitan Millennial. I call it Metropolitan Millennial because I like to talk about things such as transit, as well as architecture, or just living in general. And with that, the column will actually will start to go in concert with how our radio show will be going. So if you do follow along with my column, and I do appreciate everyone who happens to actually talk to me about my column, whether it be, you should use more photos, Radiant, ... I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why I added a mirror selfie. If you happen to see the most recent issue of the Phil-Am Courier, I had a mirror selfie, and I had a diagram. So there are more photos for you. So I take those comments and into account. So do we have people's names on here? Can I see people?
Oh, yes.
All right. So I was hoping to see people and give a shout out. Actually, never mind. I can't see anymore. Anyway, so just a few short weeks ago, I want to say 3 weeks ago, we got this show on a Saturday. Well, it was just a concept, really. And I asked, what do you want to hear? And we're just really grateful for the ability to have this show. And I just want to give a shout out to my parents. They are the ones that are watching now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Thanks for watching. Please share this video so that we can have more further shout outs for everyone. If you're texting me, I won't be able to see it, but I do just want to let you know, Mom, that we played Mag Simulaka in the beginning of the show for you.
Hey, since Auntie Mary, you're watching, I just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity. If it wasn't for you and the Phil-Am Courier and Auntie Amelia, I would not have any of this experience and any of this exposure. So thank you so much. I'm happy to be able to help Radiant wherever she can here.
Yes, thank you very much. And so once again, we did get this show up pretty quickly. We were asked if we could start maybe in December. However, because this is such a rare opportunity where we can really frame the show on about how we would like to, where I asked if we could do it during the week before or week of Thanksgiving. So it will play into the theme of gratitude and just Thanksgiving. And this is a season of Thanksgiving. And when we do our launch, you will see more of the flow of how we want to highlight people in our community or people who want to do more in our community and just learn about them especially. How many more minutes do we have for top of the hour? All right, so we have 5 more minutes for the top of the hour. I'm going to boost up our segments for the, I don't know what's next, guys, for the interviews section. And I'm going to just let you all know that this show, we're getting to know our DJs. And our DJs will be, DJs and radio tech will be answering the following questions. So we have 4 questions, but we broke it up into 2. The best 4-worded question to learn about someone is, tell us about yourself. So when we come back from the top of the hour,
we'll do one now and then.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So we can start off with one of the DJs, and can you get John Kempo? See who's gonna go. And then we're gonna ask them to tell us about themselves, and we'll give them a time limit of 5 minutes.
So I'm DJ Lelaine. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, but I moved here almost 3 years ago, just because my hometown of Lakewood, Washington, did not have the Filipino community that I was looking for, and so I moved out here to have more sense of Filipino community. And since then, I found my passion in journalism, and that's how I joined the Film Courier, and I got here to our radio show of the Pilipinx Collective. And so that's a little bit about me.
Linda.
Hi everyone, I'm Linda, DJ Linda. I was born and raised here on Oahu, and so live up myself. So growing up here, the ethnicity and cultural background here is very diverse. So, and I actually went to Catholic school in the beginning, and there I had predominantly Filipino, and it wasn't. I didn't have no culture shock, or like when people say they're not familiar with the Filipino culture. I'm not one of that because I'm very familiar with it. And growing up with a mother, I may not look, as our viewers could see, I may not look Filipino, but I am indeed 50% Filipino. My mom was born and raised in the Philippines. She brought her culture and traditions here and taught it to me. And yeah, so that's a little bit about myself.
Thank you, Linda. It's really nice to meet you. Before I get started with myself, let's tune into the ID here.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, my name is Kahel. Many people know me as Charmaine, but here on radio I go by Kahel. Just like Linda, I am Filipino. I also don't look Filipino. I'm 75% Filipino. In fact, my father is half my dad. My mom is full. In fact, Auntie Amelia, who is the host of the once a month Sunday radio show, the Film Courier Community Hour, like I mentioned, was the one who helped me get this exposure. And so basically living in a very cultured home. I have, my grandfather was a Sakata, so he was one of the first plantation people here, and giving us this life to be able to live. So we owe great thanks to him and all the Sakata here that are actually, we don't have many left anymore, you know. But yeah. So I grew up in a very cultured home. I also with Auntie Amelia and her great community services, and she was able to help me and my family get to know a lot of the prominent people in the Philippine community. So really grateful for my upbringing. Have lots of respect for that. Unlike everybody else here, I come speaking from the older generations. Yeah, I'm
The cusp.
I'm a cusp. Oh yes,
He's a cusp between the millennials and the former generation.
former generation. So yes, so I'm here once as often as I can be. I'll be here to share my input as far as, because things have definitely changed throughout the generations. So yeah, looking forward to a great show.
Thank you, Kahea, for sharing. Thank you, Linda and Elaine. I am super excited that I can get to do this with everyone who I consider like super amazing close friends. And I forgot what the question is. Oh, tell us about yourself. So, well, I feel like that Filipino-ness was very normalized in my house because of who my family is or are, and I was just so used to the representation and pride of being Filipino, and didn't really realize that that was not the case until I went to UH Manoa for both my undergraduate and graduate studies. And with that, I guess, privilege of being so proud of being Filipino and going to schools where kind of I was the model Filipino or the token Filipino is what we would say, that I felt like people's stories, though I couldn't always relate to them, were important to discuss, hear, and also learn about, and the reasons why people experience that, and through the different communities where they live now, and just the different stereotypes and everything. So with that, I graduated from UH Manoa in 2012 with my undergraduate, and then postgraduate studies in 2016. I don't remember when I graduated, but I focused a lot on, I always thought I was going to focus on politics. I always knew that from the beginning. My cousin here Amanda here can attest to the fact that I've always wanted to do politics or policy or foreign policy. So I always believed that I would be the Filipino representation from Hawaii to represent and the United States in another country. So with that, I actually met someone at the Filipino Fiesta back when I was about 12 or 15, and I don't know if my mom can remember this, and if she can write down who it was. I met someone who was a Foreign Service officer, and I think her name's Davina, and this is a wild chance if Davina is out there, but she really reinforced my goals of wanting to represent people. Though I'm not in the Foreign Service, it kind of intimidates me. I haven't really actually tried to do Foreign Service work, actually, but I had the opportunity to take steps in my life where I was able to work for someone who does represent people who I did want to represent, and I didn't realize I wanted to represent. And with that, that's where I am now. I work in city government, and I worked in state government before in both the legislative branches in city and state. And I also still work with my family. I work for my family at the Philam Courier and with Kahea at the Philam Courier Community Hour, and also assist with the social media. However, my parents do a fabulous job on their own on social media themselves. I need to keep up with the social media push that they do because they're really good. And can I just say that although I am kind of hesitant to always be on social media, just to see the opportunities that social media has offered to both of them, especially my mom, you know, getting like to represent Hawaii because of her social media postings, like on a cruise ship, to go to different places like from Guam, Japan, Okinawa, Philippines, and did I say Taiwan? Taiwan. Just to travel because of how strong she made her social media push. And so with that, I also like to say that I'm also really good at communications, and I think, you know, if you put it out there, you know, maybe, who knows, some people might want to hire all of us or any of us for the types of skill sets that we have. And, that diverted away from about myself. But shall we go on to the next question, ladies? All right, the next question, everyone, is, and we did kind of go a bit into it, especially because our show is called the Pilipinx Collective, is about our individual experiences growing up Filipino or Pilipinx, because we did touch on it. Did you talk about the superstitions already and everything? No? Okay, all right, so just a little things that kind of have, I guess, added to the framework and foundations to who we are as people today. And I really want to hear actually from everyone else, because I know myself and I feel like there are different, I guess, spectrums, or different people on the different spectrums of being Filipino. So, Linda, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. Mine is probably not going to be that long, but so growing up in a household where my mother was Filipino, she cooked very delicious Filipino food, amongst other food. She's a very good cook. She's actually a cook, but the food, love it. But also what she brought with her was the 101 superstitions and then more. So yes, not clipping your nails at night, don't sleep with your hair wet, do not whistle at night, for many more. So, but you know, all these superstitions I felt was for a reason, to keep us, you know, safe, to keep us alert, be aware, to possibly, you know, don't do things that we shouldn't do for reasons to benefit ourselves. So what I learned in that, being raised by a Filipino mother with lots of love, care, respect, honor, and hard work. That's how I brought up, and that's how she raised me, and my father raised me to be. My father is not Filipino, although he adapted to the Filipino culture. Just because my mom is very strong Filipino. She actually was born and raised there, like I said. And she came here as an adult, married my father, and they're still married today. So the values of marriage, love, relationship, all that ties in. And even my dad, he, surprisingly, I think he's Filipino without him even being Filipino, just the way he is. Just such a loving, hardworking, and caring person. And every Filipino that I meet so far has been that, you know, just very hardworking, dedicated, and very kind. Yes, and also as an adult, what I didn't realize that my mom would always watch TFC growing up, so I kind of adapted to the language a little bit. So it's a little bit Taglish, broken. I sound quite American when I speak, so that's why I don't speak. But I do understand. I don't like to tell people that I understand, because then, you know, you can hear what they say. But I do understand more than I speak, and I can write better than I speak. So, and I think that's helped towards when I went to UH Manoa for the Filipino language courses that I took, where I met Radiant before that through a mutual friend. Let's give her a shout out, Christine San Diego. Wish you were here with us, but yes, through her, I met Radiant, and we're going almost 10 years strong. So, yes. I think I went into another question, but it's okay.
That's all right, that's all right.
Well, I'll turn it over to Lelaine.
So I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm originally from Seattle, technically Lakewood, Washington. And growing up, my grandparents took care of me while my parents were at work. And so my grandma couldn't speak English, and I was taught to speak Tagalog at an early age. And whenever I went to go stay at their house until give or take around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, TFC would be playing. And so I was very much so immersed in watching that. I preferred watching the Filipino dramas over Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. And because of that, I quickly learned more about my culture from spending time with my grandparents, being taught the language, my parents just teaching me all about our language and the traditions. And I quickly felt out of place, being 1 out of 5 Filipinos in my class growing up. And so I was constantly searching for community, a Filipino community, and I went on to high school and college, and eventually I found my way, but it wasn't enough. And so I told my parents, I want to go back to the Philippines. I want to live there. I want to be able to be in that type of a setting. And my parents, with the immigrant difficulties of coming to America and the struggles that come with it, and being able to adapt to America and what it offers. My parents were like, why do you want to go back to the Philippines? What are you going to do there? So instead I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to go to Hawaii then. That's the closest thing to the Philippines. And since then, I've grown to love journalism. I've found that what I hope to have as my purpose in life is to become a voice for Filipinos, and which is why I found myself with the Courier and now with the Pilipinx Collective.
Okay, well, as for me, Kahea, like I said, I guess I've kind of explained my experience as a Pilipinx, but basically, growing up in my household, like I said, my grandfather was a Sakada, and we, just like both of you guys actually, food was the number one thing. That's what everyone gathered around. That was the whole reason why we all came together, or there was a reason to get together so we can eat. So food definitely played a big role in growing up. My grandma, she was a little Filipino lady, but she was always feeding everybody. So yes, definitely around food. Another thing, like Harlan said about the superstitions, oh my goodness, there are so many superstitions that we grew up with, and we can laugh about it now, but one superstition that really stuck out to me was like don't sing while, I don't know if you guys know that one, don't sing while you're on the dining table.
No, I never
Oh,
heard
okay.
Yes.
You don't sing on the dining table because you're singing and you're gonna something about marrying somebody old.
Yes.
Oh,
I did not hear that one.
I did marry someone
102.
old. So from that point on, like, I believed all of the superstitions, like no, don't cut your nails, don't sleep, all of that stuff. I totally live by now.
But can I say that the sleeping with your hair wet is just so much more practical, because like your hair kind of gets all kinky and what's it called, all matty, and then but also because people get headaches when you sleep with your hair wet too.
Yeah, so there is actually legit reason for it too. So there's another one. Let's see. I have a daughter, so I'm actually raising her to learn the same. All of those superstitions. Her dad teaches her how to cook really good Filipino food, which is really funny because he's not Filipino, but he learned through my grandma. So I'm really happy that my daughter gets that from him. Let's see. What else can I say about growing up as a Filipinx? I guess that's about it. Just everything that you two have already said. It really summed it up.
Thank you, Kahea. All right, for me, and this is really awkward because I was going to be talking about her and them, but my mom, Mary Llanos Cordero, Mom, the Facebook Live's right there. I know you want to be over there. Oh, wait, we're taking photo first. But you know my mom, and normally when I do, people, I think, only tell me that they know my mom as we leave, so I don't really have time to react, but I think it happens on the daily where someone reacts and says, I know your mom, and that's how it happens. So anyway, okay, so I do want to give my time to tell about my Pilipinx experience, and just, Mom, I don't know if you were listening, but I told them that I grew up kind of differently, or me and Amanda, I don't know if Amanda felt the same, but growing up, I felt like really proud to represent the Filipino community in Hawaii, especially because of the newspaper and just knowing all the going-ons of the Filipino community, and also learning about all the stories about it also, and I just learning about how you use your language, your Filipino language, as well as while you were in college working for a former Filipino newspaper, started your own Filipino newspaper, and then had your own radio show also. And so with that type of I don't know what to call it, but I guess role model, but also someone who I don't know, it's just normalized, as I mentioned before. That's what kind of set the framework for my life and how I viewed Filipino-ness, Pilipinx, and why I also wanted to be I want all of us to be sensitive to how we use and address gender, as well as I guess just how people want to be addressed. And I know that especially the next generation, the Gen Zs, are more, I guess, open to that construct. And I know that people like us, I feel like we're on the cusp of that. And anyway, I digress. I just wanted to bring my mom in and she can talk a little bit. Mom, if you could focus on, being around our age, from the time you were, 25 to 20 to now, just like how did you figure out like why you wanted to represent or be a voice for the Filipino community, and how you ended up starting your own newspaper and just that type of thing. You have background music.
Well, first of all, I'd like to address our viewers, our listeners on the radio. A very happy Sunday and good morning, everyone. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. My name is Mary Llanos Cordero, and I am so very proud to welcome these ladies for the very first time premiering on the air, and it's a bold step for them because this is their first experience and they're on the job training.
Seriously.
And I know Radian had previous experience on UH radio, she said, but this is really globally, so to speak. So from today, since today is Sunday, what a great day to begin our radio program for the Pilipinx Collective. Happy Sunday to all of you, each and every one. From the light, love, heart, and power of God that we are, we decree today, I'm not preaching, but today is the day that the Lord has made for the Pilipinx Collective to be launching and premiering their very first show. And what a way to say pasasalamat, maraming salamat to all our listeners, our viewers, our supporters out there. And we are so thankful and grateful for the love and your support. Maraming salamat po. And the continuous patronization of our radio as well as our newspaper, news magazine, the Phil-Am Courier.
All right, we will be going into the next song, which Lalaine will be introducing. And after we do that, we will continue on with my mom. I wanted to have her highlight later when we come back after this song about her experience when she was our age, from the time that she was around 25, 26, 27, because I feel like those are really pivotal moments in her life that can serve as lessons to not just us, but whoever is also listening. So up next, we have Lalaine, who will be introducing the next song.
So our next song is called Ikot Ikot by Sarah Geronimo. It was released in 2013, and Sarah Geronimo herself is a millennial at age 30 and is a world-renowned actress and singer who has performed in Hawaii numerous times throughout the years.
Hey.
Can I have
the newspaper?
How come I don't have this? I can't even post it
Because I
now.
can't spell it.
On my pad.
Oh!
That's
My
also
notepad,
like,
my
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, shucks,
No,
yeah.
My
no, no,
notepad.
it's okay. Are you sure?
Okay, folks, we're addressing our listeners, not listeners,
Can you
but
answer the
viewers.
questions that
Yeah. Okay, this is our latest issue of the Phil Am Courier, and this is our November 16th cover. And of course, the cover is all about being grateful and thankful because it's the theme of Thanksgiving. Maraming maraming salamat po. A very simple title, but it means the world to us. So if you please pick up copies of our paper today, they're gonna run out quick because they've been out since the 16th of this month. We have the editorial section from our managing editor, Benet Misalucha, and again with the theme, Maraming Salamat po with love.
Sounds very familiar.
And of course, Amelia's community calendar of events, Amelia Casamina Cabatu. And this is practically the Bible of the Filipino community because they look at all the events of what's happening around town and not just locally here in Oahu, but statewide, mind you. So if you want to plan your events, check out the dates first so that it doesn't coincide with other people's dates. Okay, we have the cover story next, and it's all about being thankful and giving thanks by Alex Vergara. We also have by Eliza May Villanueva Shamway. She's counting her blessings on this Thanksgiving. And so we have a lot of stories about Thanksgiving from people of different writers. And here, life is a celebration, and all about giving thanks.
I have markers.
And Radiant has compiled expressions of gratitude from different people, and that they've given all their thoughts and expressive opinions about Thanksgiving. So here's the latest issue, so please pick up, okay? Thank you very much for your support.
Where's our introduction to the courier, to our
Oh yes,
show?
there is.
Where? Can you find it?
It should be there,
I can't find it.
hopefully.
Oh my gosh. Do you have it? Yes, I'm sorry, I thought I had some.
So we're going straight into it.
Okay, so my take for you guys is relax, enjoy, and have fun. This is what it's all about. Don't get all tied up, tight and serious about this. This is a really fun business. And that's why we last a long, long time, because we try to love what we do, we care what we do, and we enjoy what we do. Okay, and I'm looking for your column. I don't know if there is.
Okay, just fade out when.
Okay, we'll look at it later.
I love Sarah Geronimo, and Ikot Ikot is such a fun song, and I'm glad that Lalaine has compiled a list of songs that will really make us dance, but also think about the meanings in the songs as well. All right, we are back to our segment where you first get to know our DJs, but before I talk further about myself, I think what better way to talk about myself and my experience of being Filipino than my own mom, who is the foundation of who is one of the foundations also with my dad and my grandparents and my aunties and uncles, I should say, to the reason why I was so proud, or am so proud of being Filipino, and express that through education and what I do for work also. If I could please pass it on over to my mom, and she will talk about her experiences when she was in college, or after college, actually. Yes.
Before I do that, Ray, can I do a little bit of a younger version of me before college? Because that what's tying me up to being part of the media, being bullied in private.
Can we
Private
go
and
to
public school? Okay, so
Anyway.
now I'd like to mention this because it ties me to what I am today. Because I would have been into pre-med, or I was taking pre-med school in college, but I kind of deviated to the media because I feel that we have a voice in our community, and as a voice, we started the Film Courier back in 1988, and prior to that, I was on the radio.
1988, really?
Yes.
Oh,
November
I've been telling people the wrong
1988.
thing.
Yes. Okay, so when I started with the radio, I was just barely in college and just graduated from high school. And when I was my first quarter of taking up my psychology course, I happened to have bumped into the brother of Rick Manayan, the manager and co-owner of Kisa Radio. And Rex Manayan, who's the younger brother of Rick Manayan, told me that they were looking for radio announcer who can speak bilingual. And I was at UH. He was my classmate in psychology, by the way. So I said, well, I hope I'm a perfect fit for that because I speak Filipino, but I have no,
2 minutes.
we have no whatsoever any kind of experience in terms of radio. So that's what happened. I got into that, and I have to be thankful because this is we're being very thankful to all what happened with us in the past. I'm thankful to the Manayan family, Rick Manayan, and the family for giving me the opportunity to be on the radio. So my thanks to them. And so we had a program. I kind of like just jumped into the prime time with Rick Manayan and during his morning drive show. I had to wake up early in the morning from 4 o'clock, and we had a 5:30 show all the way till 10. And so the gist of the story is I know you only gave me 2 minutes. I can stay here forever talking about my life, but we can still continue mentioning that back then there's divisiveness in the community, and there's prejudice, and there's divisiveness because there's pro Marcos, and so we are definitely kind of like put in a boiling water in the media. So that was very controversial to be on the radio, on the airways, because we get hate letters, we get thrown boiled eggs, or fresh eggs on our car. So anything that we kind of like hate letters is number one. So we, what I'm telling you is that the experience that we have back then is very challenging. And I don't know about the millennials today, but you have all the technology support. And back then we have to do everything by hand, and we have to walk to the library and do our own research. And this time everything is at your fingertips and everything is at your disposal. With my daughter and my 2 other kids, the 2 boys, they grew up in a family of trust, respect, and all this Filipino tradition of mano po. Remember that, Reagan? Mano po is like you respect the elderly, especially during Christmas, and you hold their hands, and they will definitely
Sorry, I can't find my keys.
Okay, I'm losing my train of thought because my daughter is getting scrambling away.
Well, why
Anyway.
don't we give you a chance to, why don't we go ahead and give you a chance to frame your thoughts while
Okay.
we do the station ID.
Sounds good. All right. Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
No, talk on the radio.
Oh, hi.
Okay, we're
Sorry, my.
here. Okay, Radiant, calm down. We are on the
You're
air.
not talking about what I want you to talk
I
about.
am. I did.
You're not.
I reframed it.
Okay.
Okay, we're back, and now that's because we have been vetted, and we've also had that experience in life in terms of the radio experience and the newspaper. We started our newspaper back in November 1988. At the same time, we're all challenged because of the budget. We're all operating on a shoestring budget, folks, and it was a challenging moment at that time during the 1980s because there was no technology, like I said. Everything was all fast. Everything was done slowly, and we have to really do the layout of the newspaper by hand, typeset it, and then lay it out individually, piece by piece. So it's really a moment of reflection. When you reflect back then, I can't seem to imagine how we lasted this long. And when I do reflect back, I look back with gratitude, because without the community support, we would not have lasted this long. The Hawaii Filipino newspaper, which I used to work for back then, was in existence for a good number of years. However, they did close down mainly because of the lack of support from the community. And even though the owner and publisher, Mr. Francisco Ogali, had deep pockets, of course, you cannot have deep pockets all these years. You will run dry. The well will run dry, for sure. And so what's the secret of the Phil-Am Courier, 31 years plus? It's because the Lord first, up there, and secondly, our community support, and third, our family. And if we learn to stay humble and grounded and look back where we came from, it's always, that's the basic the basic rule to success. You will not be successful in life if you don't know how to stay humble and be grounded and always be thankful and grateful to God and your family and your friends in the community. And so I'm just stating my point, and I'm with Radiant and my other children. They grew up immersed in the community. They've seen the ins and outs. They've also worked with us, and they've seen all the experiences, the challenges that we've gone through. And talking about going through the experiences and challenges that we did go through, I'd like to introduce to you my partner in crime, my BFF, and she hosts the the Phil-Am Courier Community Hour, Miss Amelia Casamina Cabatu.
Aloha! Hi everybody! Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat na imbagabigatyo amin. I apologize, but you know, the one thing I'm grateful for is every morning I wake up, I thank God for keeping me alive. And that's where I was today. This morning I always serve in church from 7 to 8. So I ran here. But I'm not going to take your time because this is all about the millennials. And I have to say thank you to all of you folks for being here. Thank you to our listening audiences. It's a new program based on issues affecting our young people. Millennials are from 21 to 35, I believe. Am I correct? 36.
Going up now.
I'm the top.
We're out of it, Mary. But you know, it is because of our history, where we grew up, how we grew up, the beliefs that we have. But one thing that's very evident, anybody that comes to the radio, be in media, like my kumari here, has a purpose, which is to share the knowledge, to be proactive in the issues, and engage in our community so that our community can be well informed, as a Phil-Am Courier is the vehicle in our community. The radio is an extension of the Phil-Am Courier, and we want to say congratulations to the boss, which is not us, but Radiant Cordero. Radiant is my ina. For those that do not know, she is a master's degree holder and she has 2 bachelors. So she has the professional knowledge to make sure that all the issues are out in our community the way it should be. Thank you, KNDI Radio. Thank you, Phil-Am Courier. So with that, we say faith, family, and friends are what's important in our lives. So thank you. Aloha mabuhay and have a great
Aloha
day.
and mabuhay and Radiant. I know you folks are still working on getting sponsors on the air for your radio show. We are happy to announce that your dad and I will sponsor your show. Pacific Century Realty.
Pacific Century Realty.
So
And we invite anyone to come and enjoy the program. And you know, our mission in both the Phil-Am Courier Community Hour and now the Pilipinx Collective is to have the community engage and be a part of the millennials' experience of making the best community that we have. We are so fortunate that we have the technological ability to get the word out. So thank you, Radiant. You know, when I ask her, my darling, you want to have a millennial program? You can, and it's now a reality.
Now it's a reality.
31 years after Mary started it, we are now here, and we look for better and bigger things in the future. So thank you, Lord, for all of our blessings. Faith, family, and friends is what we believe in. Aloha, have a great day.
Yes.
Thank you.
One last word. I just want to say that life has come full circle. Now Radiant is the radio DJ, announcer, and host of her own show along with her good friends Linda Nunez and Lalaine Ignao, and of course Charmaine. Kaheya! Maraming salamat po, and again, be an inspiration, Radiant. Don't waste your every moment of your time to
She don't
inspire
even have
anyone.
enough hours to sleep.
I know.
How she's going to waste anything?
She's not wasting anything, of course.
I do want to ask Auntie Amelia the same question that I afforded you, Mom, if that's okay.
Sure.
Let me face this towards me. So I asked my mom, because both of you provided a vehicle or a voice for the Filipino American and Filipino community in Hawaii, and we are in the ages between 25 to 35, 36, 37, whatever age range that millennials are. And I just wanted to know, like, when you were that age, how did you come to the point of representing the community in that manner?
In a nutshell, everyone are given gifts. Everything that God gives you, you utilize those gifts and make it productive. During our years, we were given that opportunity to be involved in the community early because we were on radio at Kisa Radio. After Mary left, because she had children and she had the paper to run, she asked me to come to Kisa Radio, and that's how we started our media experience. I was the news director for 15 years. I also was involved in Kayumangi, which is a Filipino-American program. Kayumangi means dark skin. It's a Filipino-American program that was brought to us by my lovable auntie, who I miss her so much, Carmen Cantorna, president of the Filipino Women's Civic Club at that time. We got grants from the government, and we utilized Oceanic Cable to get a Filipino-American program on air. We did that for about 3 years. So growing up as a local Filipina, born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, my parents gave me the traits of valuing the where you come from, so you know where you're going. So I can only credit my ability to share and engage to my parents. And that's exactly what I'm sharing to our youngsters, Mary, to Kahea and to my grandchildren and to my nieces and nephew. Important is to have your faith in yourself and God to be directed in the right direction. So that's how our young days began, is God gave you that innate ability to believe in yourself and to share and engage. I can only credit him and my parents for that. And fast forward, 31 years later, we're still here, Mary.
Yes.
And we continue to be here, and we hope through the grace of God that we will continue to be here to share, be an inspiration. So you youngsters, all these young, beautiful women and men that hopefully Radiant will get to the show, will be able to continue the legacy that our parents had instilled in us.
All right.
So that's my answer.
All right, let me go.
Thank you, Auntie.
You're welcome.
And so now we have another song. It's called Triangulo by Thyro, Yumi, and Jared.
You didn't finish the interview yet, but we'll do connections for you first. We'll do community connections for you.
Scrambling around.
No, because I was giving the paint, that's why I couldn't. I know.
What is your last song?
But I couldn't.
You
Salamat.
always want to make the last song that
Think?
on here.
Oh yeah. Hi, husband. Where's the camera? Where is the camera?
Okay, we're
Wait
on
for
the
the
air
next
still,
person.
guys.
Oh, we are.
We're still
Yes,
on
we
the
are.
air.
Where's the camera? No.
Camera's right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
You're there, honey?
just because I had to text because I have a paint out in Kalihi for
Oh.
painting graffiti out.
Yeah, yeah.
She's multitasking,
And
folks.
I had to drop
That's
off.
typical.
So
So you have
and that's
your
a.
computer.
Oh,
So
Oh,
the
sorry.
next
My bad.
time,
Can you get me
put your
the
computer up there, honey, so that way you'll be able to.
Can I get the? Okay, I will. Sorry, I just want to get
The phone?
the mirror so I can see it. Mirror.
Hi, yes. Thanks for tuning
Why
in,
don't you do it as a
Yasmin.
selfie backwards?
Hi,
No, 'cause
Cheryl.
the-
Hi,
we want that.
Dad.
It's
How
gonna
are
be
you?
mirrored.
Inda,
want
mahalo. Cheryl Feliciano, Flaviana Hingada. Oh my God, you Pinay look so great. That's what Flaviano said.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Vanessa, BFF, what happened to you? I haven't seen you in a while. Inda said good morning to the Cuderos. She says, hi, Elaine.
Oh my goodness. Don't fall.
Okay, got 15 more minutes.
I don't like this thing.
I know. It's okay.
Yeah. Do the best you can, honey. 'cause,
I think Radiant, you're gonna finish it up, or am I gonna just go straight into
I want to finish up the.
into the third?
You know what? Do we answer all the questions?
No.
Just do number 4. I'll do number 4.
Okay, we're just gonna do number 4.
Yeah. Tell Shar what the last question is.
Okay, well, I think we can incorporate it together how we know each other and how this opportunity to come on the radio was, and why is
This is difficult.
agreeing to it, and then what do we see the outcome or
Okay,
what we're gonna
let me do it.
Okay.
I mean,
me
it doesn't
hold it.
have to be like
I'll be your camera person.
and then after that I'll go into the
I'll hold it.
yeah.
Okay, radio, there is, gotta go 5 minutes before because they're physically here.
Yeah.
You know, the next
That's
show.
why I was saying we need to get the last song that's already on the board so we could leave while the song's playing.
Okay, and then we need to take a picture though before,
Mm-hmm.
because we have to put that in the career. So we need to take a picture. Can we take a picture now?
Where's the headphones step for this?
Let's do it now. How many minutes is left?
We only have 46 seconds.
No, that's not enough time.
Okay, good. But they're here, so we have to leave this.
What time is it right now?
5 minutes.
Should we
to-
just do? We can do that.
Just do community.
I kind of already shared how I got on here
Okay.
to
Yeah.
their show.
We can just do
Let's
Huh?
clean up a little bit so it'll be easy.
I'm having a really hard time.
That's why I can hold it, I said.
For now.
I'll hold it.
Yeah, for now, honey. Go finish
think
your
it's-
program. Go finish your program. 5 seconds.
Okay, no, it's good now.
Go finish your
No,
program.
it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Welcome back to the Philam Korea Community Hour presents the Pilipinx Collective on KNDI Radio 1270 AM. It is now time to make community connections, where we hope to be a forum where everyone can share information about volunteer, job opportunities, and training opportunities that we feel that the younger generation may need. So if you have any to add, please share it with us on our social media websites or emailing me at linda@thepilipinxcollective.com. So for this week on Community Connections, we have, so are you a college undergraduate who have completed at least 3 years of studies, a graduate student or a recent graduate who graduated within the past year with excellent writing skills, communication skills, and presentation skills? If so, this opportunity is for you, maybe for you. A sustainable and resilient communities internship position is available in the City and County of Honolulu's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability and Resiliency during the 2019 spring semester. The intern will work under the supervision of the city's Deputy Chief Resilience Officer. This unpaid internship is part-time, so that is 16 to 12 hours per week between January 3rd and May 10th of next year. The exact dates to be set around the intern's school schedule.
There's so many.
Applications will be accepted until November 30th. So please, if you're interested in applying, visit their website at www.resilienceoahu.org. Information about the internship can be found under the Opportunities tab of their website. Again, the website is www.resilientoahu.org. Since Thanksgiving is around the corner, as we dig up our family recipes, buy our turkeys, make our stuffings, bake our favorite cake, pumpkin or custard, and give thanks, let us all come together to share the love of this holiday season by also giving to others. Feed Hawaii's Homeless started as a heart project to share holiday meals with those who are homeless on the streets of Honolulu. It has grown to be a unique way to bring people together who have a heart to serve and want to help others. Partnering with New Hope Oahu Sand Island campus, the Aloha Outreach is able to reach those who are homeless in shelters as well as those who are on the streets. Join them on their second annual Thanksgiving Blessing Friday on November 23rd, that's Friday, November 23rd. The preparation and assembly will be from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. as well as from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. that day. Two different abilities to volunteer. They will be sharing 1,500 holiday meals to Hawaii's homeless with 1,000 meals going to 13 local shelters and 500 meals and special blessing backpack going to those who are homeless and on the streets. So if you're available and would like to volunteer for this amazing event and would like to know more information, please visit their website at www.feedhawaiishomeless.com. There are many areas they will need help and would love to count on you to join them in serving. Again, their website is www.feedhawaiishomeless.com. So these are our community connections for this week.
Good job.
Elaine.
Next.
Elaine.
So our next song will be Throwback by Morissette and Casey Kangianan.
Cut it.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. I'll close it after the song already because we have to be out in 5 minutes too.
Okay.
Can we start cleaning out?
Yeah, start cleaning up.
Maybe you want to just
Oh, yeah.
do your thanks and
Everybody,
wrap it up.
happy.
And then we'll wrap it up with
Gotta
the
be happy.
salamat
Good,
song.
good. Let's go there. Go,
Happy,
go
happy,
behind.
happy, happy.
Linda.
Just enjoy, relax, become cool and collected.
Okay, smile everybody.
Hey, Ami, I thought you were gonna do a selfie.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Here we
wait,
go.
Wait, wait. I'm gonna. No, wait.
There.
Okay.
Here we go. One, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This
How
is
about
what
for you?
Okay, I'm going in the paper.
Oh, wait, can you do mine too?
Yours, can you airdrop?
I just
Oh, I
airdrop.
can't airdrop. Okay.
Oh.
that's okay.
I airdrop to you. I just airdrop it to you.
Or text.
Okay.
Hey, sounds good. Dance!
Dance! Come on! This mother of yours, she never have enough dancing, especially.
More energy into the show. Come on, guys.
First show.
We didn't sleep.
I know.
I know.
I was in a drag show.
What?
What?
I'm not in a drag show.
I
Oh.
saw that.
Yeah,
That looks awesome.
You guys are doing a great
Is it
job.
masquerade?
Let's clean up a bit now so that
Wait, guys, clean up.
we can get out in a few
Clean up,
minutes.
clean up. We'll talk about it later.
Just do your thank yous. Thank you, Facebook
Wait,
Live.
Linda, watch out. Oh, Linda, watch out. Okay.
Thank you
So when
for
you do, you
tuning
wanna
in to
use
the
the
young
song that's
people.
already on here.
Next,
And
last song,
then
Salamat.
I do.
How many minutes do we have?
Two, three.
3.
Just say goodbye. And then pay your first salamat.
Oh.
So you just read the ending.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And then we just add the words. So when she says thanks, and then it will segue into this last song, which is 4 minutes. So
You guys need-
or 5 minutes, which is
Oh, never mind.
perfect. And then it'll go.
You guys are doing it too much every time. Okay. It's like all I see on Facebook.
Good.
I don't have.
I get, you know what, in church, I get phone calls. In church, what's the Film Curry address?
I know.
I said, I'm in church, so I'll call you later.
And I got called from the mainland too. They said, oh, can we enter from this is yours?
I know.
Someone I think entered from the mainland. Someone.
Oh, really?
I saw
Oh,
from
do
New
you
York.
have to sign this?
Straight up, straight up, straight up.
Wait out.
It's too long. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta sign that, Radiant, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. It means so much to all of us that you have joined us for our first out of 2 Pasasalamat Prelude programs. As stated in the title, our Thanksgiving gift is this program from the Philam Courier Community Hour and KNDI Radio on 1270 AM. And we want to allow some time to just say thank you to everyone, and they are and our sponsors. And if you want to sponsor the Pilipinx Collective, please hit us up on our social medias, and we'll be able to communicate with you the information about sponsoring the Pilipinx Collective. So once again, the show would not be possible without the amazing support and foundation that the Philam Courier and Philam Courier Community Hour and KNDI Radio 1270 AM have provided all of us. For more information, once again, please visit kndi.com and philamcourier.com, as well as look for all of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And so, once again, we wanted to express our thank you to everyone, and from all of us, thank you. We'll see you next Sunday.
Mwah.
Next Sunday, every Sunday.
Okay.
Thank you. Good job, girls.
I gotta go to the
Good job, girls. Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh wow, this is a big.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need
Yeah, that's hers.
Good job.
Is this your pen?
Good closing, Ray.
What do I need to sign and what do I need to check out?
Good closing.
Oh, no, it's-
So folks,
no, I don't
maraming
need-
salamat for tuning in to the very first show of the Pilipinx Collective.
This
And thank you
is
to
just
Linda,
the beginning.
Radiant, and Char, and of course Lalaine, and to my BFF Ami for coming down to support. And this is their very first show, so you'll get better. More to come. And of course, final words. Be the reason to be someone's strength, be the reason to be an inspiration, and be the reason to be the reason.
Okay, sorry, that was stop. Aloha, thank you.
Aloha, okay.
Bye.
Forget it.
That's so funny.
Okay, we're still on live. Folks,
You
while
wanna
you're
listen
cleaning.
back?
Last words, Ami.
Aloha. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for all my blessings. Aloha, everybody. See you soon.
Hey, guys, sorry. Can I have you guys move? Please.
Whose bag is this?
Mine. Oh, sorry.
Honey, don't ever put them on the floor. See, tradition.
Yeah, superstition, you're not gonna lose money instead of
Did
being
you
like-
sign this, Radiant?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Do I
great.
have to go?
Come in. You guys can go in. Come in. Okay.
Take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out.
Okay, bye everyone. Aloha.